जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय जय यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा बनचारी यमुना तीरा बनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा बनचारी यमुना तीरा बनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य स्तोत्र शतश्री श्रीमद् हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद शिल प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की शील प्रभुपाद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी all glories to the assembled devotees all glories to the assembled devotees all glories to the assembled devotees all glories all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayet. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttam shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtuki. Krishnaya vasudevaya devaki nandanaya cha nanda gopakumaraya govindaya namo namaha. So we are reading from Canto 6. So we are reading from Canto 6, Chapter 18, verse number 43. Pratishrutam dadamiti vachastanna mrisha bhavet vadam narahati chendropi tatredam upakalpate. Pratishrutam dadamiti vachastanna mrisha bhavet vadam narahati chendropi tatredam upakalpate. Pratishrutam dadamiti vachastanna mrisha bhavet vadam narahati chendropi tatredam upakalpate. We'll have one Prabhu and one Mataji, please. Pratishrutam dadamiti Nardham narhati chendropi Matajis, anyone Mataji, please? Pratishrutam dadamiti vachastanna mrisha bhavet vadam narhati chendropi tatredam upakalpate. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. I promised to give her a benediction, and this promise cannot be violated. But Indra does not deserve to be killed. In these circumstances, the solution I have is quite suitable. Purport. Kashyap Muni concluded, Diti is eager to have a son who can kill Indra, since she is a woman, after all, and is not very intelligent. I shall train her in such a way that instead of always thinking of how to kill Indra, she will become a Vaishnava, a devotee of Krishna. If she agrees to follow the rules and regulations of the Vaishnava principles, the unclean core of her heart will certainly be cleansed. Cheto darpana marjanam. This is the process of devotional service. Anyone can be purified by following the principles of devotional service in Krishna consciousness. For Krishna consciousness is so powerful that it can purify even the dirtiest class of men and transform them into the topmost Vaishnavas. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement aims at this purpose. Narottam Das Thakur says, Brajendra Nandan Je Shachishuta Hoilo She Balaram Hoilo Nitai Dinahina Joto Chilo Hariname Udharilo Tara Sakshi Jagai Madhai. The appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this Kali Yuga is especially meant to deliver the fallen souls who are always planning something for material enjoyment. He gave the people of this age the advantage of being able to chant the Hare Krishna mantra and thus become fully pure, free from all material contamination. Once one becomes a pure Vaishnava, he transcends all material conceptions of life. Thus, Kashyap Muni tried to transform his wife into a Vaishnavi so that she might give up the idea of killing Indra. He wanted both her and her sons to be purified so that they would be fit to become pure Vaishnavas. Of course, sometimes a practitioner deviates from the Vaishnava principles and there is a chance that he may fall down. But Kashyap Muni thought that even if one falls while practicing the Vaishnava principles, he is still not a loser. Even a fallen Vaishnava is eligible for better results as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Swalpam api asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Even practicing the Vaishnava principles to a small extent can save one from the greatest danger of material existence. Thus, Kashyap Muni planned to instruct his wife Diti to become a Vaishnava because he wanted to save the life of Indra. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirbishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Brinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So first of all, I would like to seek blessings of all of you all. It's not whether you are my senior or a junior. All of you all are Vaishnavas. Aspiring, pure Vaishnavas, sub-Vaishnavas. That is what we are reading in this purport. So I seek your blessings that whatever I speak can be helpful in some way or the other. In whatever small way also, if it can be helpful, मेरा जो प्रयास है वो सक्सेसफुल हो जाए. So, Srimad Bhagavatam. See, Prabhupada made it a principle in our movement that every day morning we should sit and more than only reading is try to, absorb and meditate into the message of this Bhagavatam. He could have told, na, आप लोग सब अपने अपने घर में you all have to read Bhagavatam. He made it a point that we should congregate and try to assimilate the message of this Bhagavatam. Why? Because, you see, Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita he spoke in what, 45 minutes, 1 hour, somewhere I read 1.5 hours, something like that, right? It was crash course. Krishna didn't have time. Shankh baj gaya hai, battle is about to start. So he just spoke. And in Bhagavad Gita, that is why you won't see any examples and all. It's just philosophy, right? Ekdam instructions, do this, don't do this, do this, don't do this, ekdam. So I compare that to, I'm going to give a comparison and I'll give the reason at the end. It's like for those who are into baking, that is like, you know, वो बोलते हैं ना कि what do you call it? Recipe. In the recipe, you just get instructions. Three cups of flour, 2 cups of sugar, and you mix it and you will get a beautiful cake. वो Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavatam क्या है? In Bhagavatam, everything that Krishna spoke is being shown to us, right? Through examples. You see Bhagavatam right from beginning to end. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna established, not once, twice, material world is dukhalam, material world is asukham, right? Abhi sunna, yes, when you hear to somewhat degree you get the message, but when you see it through these examples, the whole fiber actually of Srimad Bhagavatam is this, if you analyze. Whether you're a child, 5-year-old, Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv, okay? Whether you're a housewife, Kunti Devi, Draupadi, they had their problem. Whether you're a king, Parikshit Maharaj, Bhishma Pitama, all had their own challenges. Indradev, Brahmaji, right? So the whole fiber, if you see, of Srimad Bhagavatam क्या है? यही है ना? कि material world, जो मैंने बोला था, what I spoke in Bhagavad Gita, Dukkhalam, Asukham, now I am showing it to you. So that recipe now takes a form, right? When that baker actually now gets all those ingredients and bakes it, then it takes the form of a cake. Bhagavatam क्या है? It's that cake. Now to relish that cake, now we see, as we are seeing in Bhagavatam, you know, all these challenges that all these devotees are going through. And at the end, if we get the understanding, right, like Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur explained, there is only one problem in material world. What is that one problem, he said? Lack of Krishna. One solution, Krishna consciousness. Bas. All these different flavors of problems, challenges that we are seeing in Bhagavatam, if we see, at the end of the day, what was the solution? In some form or the other, the Lord coming, Lord's avatar coming, Krishna in some form coming and resolving the issue. So the principle is, one problem ही है, lack of Krishna consciousness. Solution, one only, Krishna consciousness. Right? So Bhagavatam is like the cake. But do you know when you get the real taste of the cake? When there's an icing on it, right? Icing डालते उसके ऊपर. What is that icing? Chaitanya Charitamrita. You get the aswadam of Krishna consciousness. When you practice Krishna consciousness, bhakti, तो क्या रसा मिलेगा? Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now, why I'm mentioning it, I'll come to the point. You all must be wondering, Prabhu ji, क्या हम भागवतम सुनने आए हैं, आप हमको बेकिंग का क्लास दे रहे हैं? Now, when you have an icing on the cake, it's attractive. But do you know then what the baker does on that? He decorates it on top with dry fruits, different designs बनाते हैं कि नहीं? And when you see that decor, ऊपर में सब decorations है, you get so attracted that you want to dive into that cake, right? It starts from up. You see those beautiful decorations, you want to have that cake. What is this decoration on the cake? आइसिंग तो चैतन्य चरितमृत है ना? ये ऊपर का जो डेकोरेशन है जो हमको डीप लेके जाता है, वो क्या है? Srila Prabhupada's purpose. Without these purpose, trust me, I am a living example of this. I had read Bhagavatam before I came into Krishna consciousness. Many of you all also may have read, right? But now when I look back, I try to think, Kashyap Muni, Diti, they sound so foreign. Or even if I may just be knowing the name. Acha, haan, Kashyap Muni tha, Diti tha, wo sab tha. Right? Now when you read these purports and commentaries, right? How much deeper essence of the Bhagavatam is actually revealed to us. Otherwise, these can just be stories. है कि नहीं? ये और एक स्टोरी हो सकता है, प्रहलाद महाराज का जैसे स्टोरी था, भगवान आया उसको मार दिया, Diti took a vow and then Kashyap Muni. But when we read the purports, like this purport of today, if you read the translation, there's not much in it. To satisfy, sorry, translation. I promise to give her a benediction, and this promise cannot be violated. But Indra does not deserve to be killed. In these circumstances, the solution I have is quite suitable. Kashyap Muni is thinking like that, that he has come up with a solution which is helpfully suitable for both Indra and his wife. But when you read the purport, the commentary of Prabhupada, what does the purport do? It reveals what Kashyap Muni is trying to achieve. And I'll explain it, how we come to that point. आप लोग देखेंगे, if this whole commentary, if the whole purport you'll see, it's so much based on bhakti, on devotional service. Prabhupada is talking about Chaitanya Lord Chaitanya's appearance. He's talking about the holy name. He's talking about Bhagavad Gita, right? Everything about devotional service, bhakti. When I was thinking really, we can have about 7 classes only on this one purport. We can have a saptah. Itna hai wo purport mein, right? Jai Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra Gaur Nitai Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Marini Sudarshan Ji ki jai. So I chose one point in this purport which Prabhupada is emphasizing on. One message in the purport which Prabhupada repeats 3 times. See, that is why I tell a lot of devotees also, ठीक है, Prabhupada का purport पढ़ना जरूरी है, but don't read it because we've been told we have to read. थोड़ा उसको deep dive करो. What is the message that Prabhupada is giving me, not us? Personal. See, if you don't take it personally, you should not do this. We'll tell everybody, So personally, ये commentary इसको पढ़ने का. So, one message which Prabhupada repeats 3 times. What is that in the purport? First time, he says, I shall train her in such a way that instead of always thinking of how to kill Indra, she will become a Vaishnava, a devotee of Krishna. First time. Prabhupada is saying, Kashyap Muni kya try kar rahe hain? He is trying to make Diti a Vaishnava. One time. Now, he could have just told it once, no? Second time. Thus, Kashyap Muni tried to transform his wife into a Vaishnavi so that she might give up the idea of killing Indra. Second. Same message, na? Right? Why is Prabhupada repeating? And it doesn't end. He ends the purport how? Thus, Kashyap Muni planned to instruct his wife Diti to become a Vaishnava because he wanted to save the life of Indra. Why 3 times? देखो यही है प्रभुपाद का पर्पट जब पढ़ेंगे. दिस इज द टेक होम. ऑफ कोर्स एवरीथिंग इज अ टेक होम. एवरी वर्ड ऑफ प्रभुपाद इज सो पावरफुल. बट when he is repeating, why is he repeating? He is giving us the deeper, like what is the heart of Kashyap Muni? What is Kashyap Muni trying to do? He is trying to awaken Diti. Because right now, Diti ka mood kya hai? See, I'm not going to get into Diti and Kashyap. For many classes, you all have been hearing about householders, wives and all. तो आप लोग ब्रह्मचारी लोग बोलेगा आज फिर से वो. I'm not even going to get into that. I'm going to talk about bhakti, devotional service, because. So, what is the heart of Kashyap Muni? That is what Prabhupada is explaining to us, enlightening us on that. That Kashyap Muni is trying to make Diti a Vaishnava. He's trying to wake her up. Because right now, Diti ka mood kya hai? Revenge. Right? Indra, you killed my sons. Now look what I'll do. That's not the mood of a Vaishnava, right? Vaishnava is always forgiving. So today, very briefly, we'll try to understand this aspect of awakening in the life of a Vaishnava, in life of a devotee also, and in life of any jiva for that reason. Because that is what is the message that Prabhupada is giving 3 times, that how Kashyap Muni is trying to awaken Diti. So if we see in bhakti also, in devotional life, when we come to devotional life, right? What happens? What is the first thing that when anybody comes into Krishna consciousness or starts practicing devotional life or gets into bhakti? जब बच्चा होता है तो उसको फर्स्ट चीज व्हाट डू वी टीच हिम? A for apple, B for ball, C for cat, D for doll, right? That is the same thing we are taught when we come into bhakti, right? A for what? Association, right? B for books, C for chanting, D for everybody knows. Now today what we are going to do is, as we keep practicing bhakti, devotional life, what should happen? देखो ये जो बच्चा है ना, in KG class 1 A for apple है, but as he grows up, then his A for apple becomes algebra, right or wrong? B will become biology, C will become chemistry, I don't know, whatever it is, D will become dermatology or something. It doesn't stay apple and cat and dog and all, right? It condenses. Similarly, in our bhakti, in our devotional life, as we keep practicing, तो ये जो association, books, chanting and diet, they get condensed. Now footnote, please make a note. I am not using the word they get replaced. क्योंकि ये 4 जो है, association, books, chanting and diet is foundation. Paramhamsa devotee भी है, वो he also associates with sadhus. He will also read shastras. He will also chant the holy name, right? This is foundation. So we are not saying that they will get replaced. These will also get condensed. What will they manifest when they get condensed, when our bhakti gets condensed? We'll try to understand that briefly. Because these 4 ABCD, actually I take 1 each class. And I'm trying to accommodate it in 20 minutes, I don't know. A, association, right? As we keep practicing, what should happen in our condensed state? Awakening. Awakening should happen. And I'll explain it through examples. Sometimes it's easier to understand through examples than, Awakening. We should come to a state of total awakeness. So what does that mean? See, primarily there are 3 states. तीनों A है. First state क्या है? Asleep. A jiva is asleep. Pashubhi samanyam, right? कोई धर्म, कोई कृष्ण है ही नहीं, right? He doesn't have any understanding. He is on the platform of Pashubhi samanyam. So that is called a sleep state. We are not going to discuss much about that. Now from this asleep state, when a person, by so many ways and means, primarily it's devotee only, association. What is the next thing that happens? This person who was asleep now becomes aware. He becomes aware of the need of Krishna, of dharma in his life. Dharmo hi tesho adhiko vishesho. Usko at least samajh aa jata hai. He becomes aware. So now in his life what happens? First in his life was what? Krishna nahi. Now in his aware state what happens? Krishna bhi. So he'll do everything that he is doing, and he will also practice some form of, whatever form of dharma, be it Krishna conscience, something. Krishna becomes also in his life, right? As he keeps on practicing, this awareness now becomes what? Awakeness. Now he awakens. And in his awake state, first it was Krishna nahi, then it was Krishna bhi. अब क्या हो जाता है? Krishna ही. Krishna also becomes Krishna only. See, even if you all see definition of awaken, difference between aware and awakeness, dictionary में आप लोग देखो, Awareness means having knowledge or perception of a situation or of something. Awareness is ज्ञान जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं. You are aware of a fact. And awakeness means what? You are conscious. प्रभुपाद ने बोला कृष्णा consciousness. कृष्णा ज्ञान नहीं बोला. Good, of course, first you need gyan. But that gyan in its contents, when you keep practicing it, केवल जानना कि डिस्प्रिंस से सर दर्द जाएगा, सर दर्द नहीं जाता है. How does the headache go? Everybody knows, right? Similarly, only knowing, it will create awareness. Yes, awakeness. See, I'll give you a material example to understand this. Two examples, it's easier to understand difference between awareness and awakeness. Material examples में आप देखो, somebody who's into some form of intoxication. He's drinking, taking drugs, whatever he's doing. Is it that this person is not aware that this cigarette smoking is injurious to health? Aware है ना? He's aware that I'm drinking and this will create, so on problem and all. Yet he's doing. People who steal, they are aware कि पकड़ा जाएगा, अंदर जाएगा, right? They know it's wrong. They are aware. They are not awake. I'll give you a real life example. I was in Atlanta one time, 2000. First devotee rather whom I met in Atlanta. First few devotees. Very nice devotee. See, when I give examples, I'm not being critical of that devotee. I learned a lesson, I'm sharing that lesson. Till today I do dandavats to that devotee. Wonderful devotee. So long story short, he was from South India. So I went to his house first time for a program. At the end of the program, what happens? Prasadam, right? Prasadam serve out हुआ, हम लोग सब बैठ गए. So when I got the prasadam, that sabji, still I remember. See, when we make sabji, what do? We'll have bhindi and in that we'll put little spices, right? Mirchi. The sabji that he gave me, मेरे को ऐसा लगा कि द सब्जी वाज स्पाइसेस मिर्ची और उसमें एक दो भिंडी डाल दिया था. I ate it fire. Anyway, afterwards I told him, Prabhu, क्या कर रहे हो? What are you doing? It's a killer. He said, Prabhu, I've eaten it for 30-40 years. He's from South India, so it's very natural. I've eaten it 30-40 years और 30-40 years भी निकल जाएगा. He's aware, right? Do you know what happened? Maybe inside 1 or 2 years, his liver and spleen and 2-3 parts, I don't know, they burnt out. To such a degree he was serious that he was in ICU and actually US doctors had given up. Ki iska kuch, he was just dead, you can say. Somehow by Krishna's arrangement, he came to India, some natural treatment, therapies and all that. He got okay and he came back. You know what is the first thing he told me? Prabhu, aap sahi tha. So now he woke up. That experience, are you understanding? He had to wait for the experience to get from awareness to awakeness. Now same thing in our bhakti also. So many things we are aware. But the gap between awareness and awakeness is there. To the degree we don't put in our heart into doing whatever we are supposed to do in bhakti, we can be offering aarti. क्या करने का 12:55 हो गया, चलो भागो भागो. Or we can be doing kirtan, being giving class. What is the why I am doing what I am doing? Bhagavatam में क्या बोलते हैं? Samsiddhim hari toshanam. Every thought, word and action of mine should be for what? For pleasure of Krishna. This is consciousness. Krishna consciousness का मतलब ये है. Then you are awake. Krishna becomes a reality. Krishna should not just be another word. अभी हमने भगवान को replace कर दिया with Krishna. It is good. See, bhakti, when we are talking of awareness, that is good. Krishna भी है आपके life में. That is not best. Best क्या है? Krishna ही. So how much is Krishna becoming a reality? Whatever am I doing in my life, am I doing it for Krishna? Krishna ही. Chaitanya Charitamrita example. since we celebrated Gaur Purnima last week. Actually, the example was spoken wonderfully by Prabhuji yesterday. I won't get into the pastime. Shiva Sangan Kirtan going on, right? And one day, Shiva just hears some noise, goes in and sees what? His son is dead. Abhi socho. See, when we hear this pastime, we should be a bit meditative. There are two ways that Shivas could have responded to this situation, right? What are the two ways? One, uska beta, it's his son, right? Emotions are naturally to flow out. He could have just taken his son and come out and, Gauranga, Prabhu, Bhagavan, see my son, he's passed away, please bestow your mercy upon him. Would that have been wrong? What did he do? We heard yesterday, right? Shh! He's telling his wife, everybody, all the Mataji, आवाज बाहर नहीं जाना चाहिए. Any noise also comes out. Your son is lying dead, I will also die. Now, what is there to learn from this pastime? Srivas Thakur ka existence kya hai? What is his consciousness? He is not thinking, mera beta mar gaya, my son has died, my wife is good. He is thinking that this noise should not create disturbance to Mahaprabhu's dancing. There should not be any disturbance in the Lord's, what is pleasing you, Mahaprabhu. That is important. Isko bolte hai Krishna, He. Bhakti kya hai? Last time I gave a class, I told, Bhakti is a journey from Shram eva hi kevalam to Samsiddhim Haritoshanam. This is a journey, right? We want to come to this point where every thought, form, or action of ours is for the pleasure of the Lord. Bhakti ka yahi journey hai. We have to travel from Krishna Bhi to Krishna He. See, in the life of Prabhupada. Now, we need to understand this with a right understanding. Through Prabhupada, Krishna is teaching us. Prabhupada was always, he's a Parshad of the Lord, he comes to teach us. But through Prabhupada, how Krishna taught us. See, we hear in Prabhupada Leela that for some phase of his life, when he was in his youth, what was the Swadharma of Prabhupada? Desh Bhakti. Right or wrong? He became a Desh Bhakt and he was ready to do anything, wearing khadi clothes, he gave up everything. To what degree? That he is meeting his spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, right? First time. Everybody has heard of that dialogue, right? Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is telling him, hey, you are young, you are intelligent, why don't you take this message of Krishna in the English language? What was Prabhupada's response? Prabhupada should have accepted, right? Yes, what you are saying is right. Prabhupada didn't accept. He said, who will hear your message? Who will understand your message? Hum log enslaved hai, we are not independent. First thing what we need to do is get independence. Right? Krishna Bhi. And then what response he got from Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur actually awoke him. Bhakti Siddhanta said, ye sab problem, today you are fighting for independence. Tomorrow even if you get independence, right? After a few years, India में क्या होगा? Extremism आ जाएगा, right? There'll be bomb explosions in Bombay. He didn't say, I'm just sharing with you all. Then few years back, COVID आ जाएगा. So these will go on. Root problem, as I said in the beginning, lack of Krishna consciousness. Only solution, Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada woke up. Look, Prabhupada was never asleep. Through Prabhupada, we are being taught in his Leela. This is Prabhupada Leelamrit. इसीलिए उसको Leelamrit बोलते हैं. Prabhupada के माध्यम से we are being taught. Prabhupada later on said that I should have actually surrendered to him that time only. I took that much more time to finally surrender to him. So, awareness and waking up. Very important. Otherwise, you see in our practice also, we can be doing things for many other reasons but pleasing Krishna. Sometimes we can be struggling so hard so that, for adoration, for recognition, मैं अच्छा class देता हूँ, मैं अच्छा कीर्तन करता हूँ. कितना अच्छा लगता है ना सुनने को जब कोई बोलता है प्रभु जी आप क्या कीर्तन, हाँ रियली, थोड़ा जोर से बोलो. So that can be our driver. Or sometimes, you know, I want a position, I want to become a counselor. With due respect to counselors, I am not being disciplined. Or I want to become a manager, I want to become temple president, I want to become temple vice president. Arey, why does somebody become a temple president? You have to understand that. Versus why you want to become temple president. Very important to understand. I personally had an experience I'll share with you all. In 2005, I was in Atlanta and we were having some management challenges and all that. So, long story short, a board was formed of 7 devotees. And somehow, don't ask me how, I was made the chairman of that board. I know many eyebrows will go up. Prabhu ji, aapko kaise bana diya chairman? US में ऐसा ही होता. So, from 2005 to 2010, I was serving in that role. वहाँ पर chairman को भी झाड़ू मारना पड़ता है. और आपको किचन में कुकिंग भी करना पड़ेगा ऐसा. So till 2010 I was serving in that role. In 2010 when some challenges came up, including I was going to get my son and all, here was my bewilderment. I wanted to give up that position, but I was not being able to give up. अरे chairman का position प्रभु जी है कि नहीं? I am the chairman and everybody respects me, and if I am not there, how the temple will run? That was my, I'm being truthful, that was my thought process. Then what I did, that time one of my seniors, 2 of my seniors, Gaurang Prabhu and Govind Prabhu had come to US, they were in Detroit. I flew all the way from Atlanta to Detroit to meet them, spoke to them. Govind Prabhu ने मेरे से 2 questions पूछा. Prabhu, how old is Atlanta temple, Paniyati temple, New Paniyati? I said 30-35 years. Wonderful. How long have you been the chairman? I said 5 years. He said wonderful. He said, Prabhu, before you 30 years temple chala ki nahi? Was the temple running? I said yes. He said, Prabhu, after you also the temple will run for 30 years. Resign. So how did my awakening happen? Association. Real purpose of association is this, my dear friends. Not, one time I remember one young boy told me, Prabhuji, association is wonderful. You know, now I go to movies also with devotees. मैं movies भी devotee के साथ जाता, हाँ प्रभुजी. तो मैं बोला ठीक है, because he was very new, I didn't want to discourage him. I said ठीक है, devotees better than going alone, go with devotees. I'm not encouraging, please. This is discouraging, not encouraging. We have to, that is what I'm trying to understand, explain. Association means what? In its condensed state, it must create awareness. It must create awakening. We must awaken, we must wake up. Krishna should become a reality in whatever we are doing in our Krishna consciousness. Whether we are offering an arti or whether we are cooking, or are we doing it for Krishna? So much can be spoken. Now, when this awakeness happens, when somebody awakens, right? That is what it is said also. Nitya siddha Krishna prem sadhya kabu nai shravanadi shuddha chitte kore uday. Uday means what? Awaken. What has to awaken? Krishna prem. The goal of bhakti, the ultimate goal of bhakti is this, to reawaken this Krishna consciousness within our hearts. That should be our goal. And after this awakens, what is next that happens naturally? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Janam sarthak kare, karo paropkar. An awakened person, awakened sadhu, he will not sit down, chalo, wonderful, now I am with Krishna. No. What is the next thing he will do? The B. Books hai, in its condensed state, this becomes broadcast. What is the meaning of broadcast? Real world example. I was just thinking in my good old days. एक advertisement आता था. Washing powder Nirma, washing powder Nirma, दूध की सफेदी. आप लोग सबने सुना है ना? क्या publicity था. उस time तो WhatsApp was not there, right? You turn on the radio, washing powder Nirma. TV, hoardings, movies, जहां जाओ क्या था? Washing powder Nirma. To such an extent that when you go into a store, you are going to buy washing powder, you won't say, I want washing powder. I will say, मेरे को निरमा चाहिए. Everybody getting the point? The publicity was so strong that it replaced washing powder, the word only, with nirma. Means washing powder मतलब क्या? Nirma ही होना चाहिए. Broadcast by an awakened devotee का purpose is what? To awaken others. He will not, nothing below that. In any form, whatever he'll do, whether he's distributing books, giving classes, doing kirtan. Why? Because when he's awakened, what he's experiencing, he wants others to experience. Broadcast, preaching, that should be the goal. देखो हम लोग book distribution करते हैं. One time I remember here in Pune only. See, please take messages positively. I'm not trying to be critical of any devotee. I learned a lesson, so I'm sharing with you. So one devotee had come to our counselor group, and he was called to explain, to share about book distribution and all that. So when one question was raised by my counselor, the one point that he made raised my counselor's eyebrow also go up and my eyebrow also go up. And then after that we spoke also. He told her, अरे माता जी books दे दो ना, points तो मिलेगा ना कम से कम. That is good. Okay, see, I'm not discouraging you all from distributing books, please. सर्वर लक्षण प्रभु मेरे को मारेंगे, बोले प्रभु जी आप क्या क्लास दे रहे हैं? Right, we have to give. The first driver is, yes, we want points, we want to be the top book distribution in India and world and all, right. But is that actually the purpose of distributing books? Prabhupada, how many times he emphasized and kept telling, read my book. He used to read his own books. Huh? If there's nothing in those books or the books are, why would he read his books? And he would be so happy when you would know that, are you reading the book? You're reading the book, you're reading the book, you're reading the book. So the purpose of the broadcast is very important. Why we are doing what we are doing? Why we are doing what we are doing? Janam sarthak kare karo paro. So our driver should be to awaken that person ultimately. Okay? As I said, good is we distribute books or whatever we do for. You see Lord Nityananda, right? Lord Nityananda कौन है? बलराम जी है, right? We know his mood. And that Lord Balram ji as Nityanand Prabhu, what he is doing? Jive dware dware giya. Adhama patita jive dware dware giya. And he could have just gone and told, you should chant Hare Krishna. He used to fall on his knees. Huh? Falling on his knees and telling them, Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Dhana Pran, begging. Huh? How many times, I'm telling for myself, how many times I go and beg people to buy a book? I never do it, please. अपना भी भैया ये नहीं चाहिए आपको, ठीक है, no problem, all the best. हम निकल जाते हैं. Nityanand could have been in the same, Lord Nityanand could have been in the same mood. अच्छा आपको नहीं chant करना, Hari bol, all the best. He's begging, he's falling on his feet. Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, आपका real dhan pran क्या है? Krishna. What is his purpose? His purpose is this, to awaken people. That is what Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also saying now. What did Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say? Jiva jago, jiva jago, jiva jago, jiva jago. Awaken, Baba. Gora Chandra bole. So, when one is awakened, when he is experiencing, then the purpose of his preaching, broadcast will be this, to awaken others. See, Srila Prabhupada, of course, books is one of the methods through which he gave us and through which he also awakened so many people. But Prabhupada many times mentioned this also. Prabhupada said, deities, we should have such wonderful worship of deities, so beautiful, that when somebody just comes and has a glimpse of Radha Vrindavan Chandra, wow, ah. So isn't this a madhyam? This is broadcasting through deity worship. That is why you see in all ISKCON temples, कितने लोगों ने हमको बोला, जी ISKCON में what we see, we don't get it anywhere. And when I hear that, all glories to Prabhupada. Right? Through DTs, he said, broadcast, preach through the DTs. Kirtan. Kirtan should be, so many people say, Prabhuji, आप लोग ISKCON में आते जो कीर्तन होता है, wow, it's so heart touching, it's so heart melting. Kirtan, another method of giving this prasadam. Strongest, right? You see, हमारा foundation of ISKCON stands on these two. Kirtan and prasadam. Prabhupada was sitting in Tompkins Square and giving kirtan, right? And prasadam was bullets, gulab jamun. Philosophy सब बाद में आया. All books, all philosophy came afterwards. So what was Prabhupada's, when he was giving the gulab jamun or when he was doing kirtan and all? Jiva jago. Awaken them. Yes, first step is awareness. We are not saying no. But as I said, as our bhakti gets condensed, awakening happens. And then when we, to the degree we are awakened, our whole broadcast ka purpose will be only one. To awaken others. To help them become Krishna conscious. Apart from, it's a madhyam we will use, of course, books and prasadam and everything and all. But at the back, we should always have this. I want to awaken, I want to, I learned this from a very senior devotee of mine. Even now at home, when I give somebody, some courier fellow comes or something, I give him prasadam. Immediately after giving prasadam, what I do, I go to Radha Shyam Sundar, my deity, and I pray. Radha Shyam, I don't know who he is. I gave him your prasadam, please give him shelter. That should be our mood. Giving prasadam, हमारा mood क्या होना चाहिए? कि this prasadam, please, it will change, bring some change in this. It will awaken this person. Right? So B is broadcast, share with this intent of awakening others. Now what happens when we keep on practicing, we are doing this broadcasting and sharing and all that? Challenges come, right? Ups and downs will come. And in this ups and downs, what happens? What does it impact? Our commitment. Initially we are totally committed, yes, and when as long as we are getting very good results, we are totally 100% committed, jo bolo kar. And when that graph starts going down for whatever reason, to hamara commitment shake ho jata hai thoda. I was just reading yesterday, I think this was Prabhupada or somewhere I read, the essence of commitment is recommitment. Keep recommitting yourself. Because see, very nice example comes to my mind. When you are driving, especially if you are driving somewhere like in US, you're driving at high speed. What happens? The car will go a bit to the left. So what you have to do? You have to bring it back, center. The car will go too much to the right. You have to bring it back to the track. This is the meaning of commitment. Commitment upar jayega, for whatever reason it may come down. Bring it back on. Recommit. Whatever may happen. You see King Pratap Rudra's commitment. Mahaprabhu in one way you can say rejected him. No, I can't see him. He's a king. I'm a sannyasi. Sannyasi is not supposed to meet kings. I'm not supposed to meet women. So in one way, I can't have anything to do with this king. What is the best route for Pratap Rudra? I'm a king. ठीक है, he could have told Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, whenever Mahaprabhu changes his mind, I'm always available, let him come. Did King Pratap Rudra stay committed? Again, what kept him committed? Devotee association. He stayed connected with devotees. Those devotees kept him on track. Wait on, hold on, don't lose patience. You will get the mercy of Mahaprabhu. Devotees told him, become a sweeper. Can you imagine king ko bolega sweeper jaake rasta mein jhadu maro? Somebody tells me only, अच्छा ठीक है झाड़ू मारना होगा. मार देते हैं हम लोग because we have to show we are devotees ना. मार देते हैं झाड़ू. Ask your heart. This King Pratap Rudra, you have to become a sweeper and sweep the floor. Did he do? He did. Mahaprabhu is resting in the garden. You have to go and massage his feet. Long story, right? All of you all know. His commitment, where did it end up? He is massaging the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu and singing, right? Tava Kathamritam. Mahaprabhu woke up. And here he is in the warm embrace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu showed him his 6-arm form, na? उनको 6-arm form दिखाया था King Pratap. His commitment, he didn't deviate, he stayed on track. Challenges आएगा, ups, downs, everything. Prabhupada, how many challenges came in Prabhupada's life? Prabhupada Lilamrit पढ़ेंगे तो his family, his god brothers, his business, Jhansi, he said, so many, we can just go on top. Prabhupada stayed committed. I have committed to my spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. I am not giving up. Right? So commitment may go up and down, may go up and down. We have to stay in any situation for that reason. Very gross situation may also come. And as I said, that commitment, how it will come again? First, association, devotees. Those devotees are like on the road, you have 2 tracks, ka beech mein, I don't know, where you don't have. In US, you have those stones. So if you go too much to the left, tuck, 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 you understand you're going too much to the left, you come back in the center. That's devotee. Too much to the right, tuck, 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 you come back. Devotee association will keep you on track, will keep you committed. I personally had once an experience. I won't get into details. 2018. For whatever reasons, my spiritual master was not unhappy with me. He was angry. So, long story short, I just accepted what he told me to do. He actually told me sign a blank check and give it. Not a blank check. Something he told me to do would have been equivalent to sign a blank check and give it. I did. And for 6 months, my commitment, what we are talking about, was shaky. क्योंकि अगर Guru is not happy, तो यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत प्रसादो ना. Guru is unhappy, तो finish, game is over. I waited 6 months. This happened in May, and in December, my spiritual master came back. First thing I went. And I still remember the timing. He spent 57 minutes with me in a closed room. And now again, devotee hai na? That's what I'm trying to establish. Association, devotee will bring you back on track. Long story short, at the end of the whole discussion, he told me, Prabhu, I am so sorry for all that you had to go through. And he embraced me and he told me, because he could feel commitment agar hil gaya to khatam ho jayega na. He said, if not more, I love you as much as I loved you yesterday. Back on track, committed. And this commitment, when it gets condensed, I have 4 minutes more, so I'll take 4 minutes more. This commitment, it gets condensed, and it comes to a point. D is what? You are ready to die for it. Khand khand hoye de jaye jodi pran, tabahu na chhadibo padane harinam. Haridas Thakur, right? You have to die. Few weeks back, in a class, we got the example of, you all know Her Grace Ladni Mataji, right? Can you imagine what type of commitment that was? Ladni Mataji, everybody's heard her pastime, right? Don't have time. She gave her life. She said, I can't see in front of me other Vaishnavas being killed. She went right in front. First you have to kill me. And they killed her. Imagine. Now, I don't want to scare you all. कोई लोग डर जाएंगे, बाबा मरना पड़ेगा यार, बहुत ज़्यादा भारी हो गया. So let us get an understanding what it means to die. Die does not necessarily always mean physically कि आपको कोई shoot करेगा. No. What does it mean when we are ready to die for this purpose? How much are we ready to sacrifice? How much are we ready to extend ourselves? How much are we practicing our bhakti in our comfort zone? How much are we ready to come out of our comfort zone? Right? Dying ka matlab ye, it does not mean ki literally shoot. Sacrifice. How much are we ready to sacrifice? Srila Prabhupada, right? Again, so many examples are there. Srila Prabhupada, what a sacrifice. He sacrificed his family. He sacrificed. What a sacrifice he made. Just listen. He was in Vrindavan, right? Vrindavan, he was among the most respected sadhu, you can say. He could have just stayed in Vrindavan. ठीक है, मैंने बहुत try किया, नहीं हो रहा है. He sacrificed Vrindavan to go to the West because of his commitment to his Guru. And we know on the way, right, what all he went through, health challenges, New York, imagine in the dead of the night standing in front of a drug addict with a gun in his hand. Maar do, no problem. At any point, all that Prabhupada had to do was go back to Bhakti Siddhanta and go, Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, I tried, not happening, come back to Vrindavan. Right or wrong? Did he do that? He was ready to die. And in his case, it does not necessarily mean, as we said, physically. Of course, physically also we see on the Jaladuta what he went through. But more important is the sacrifices that he made, that he was making. And we see that coming down in the next generation. If you all have read the life of Bhakti Tirth Swami Maharaj, right? Bhakti Tirth Maharaj, in those days, he went to East Europe. For some of you all who know history, उसको iron curtain बोलते थे, because it was under the communist rule. You try to go there and propagate all this religion and all, you just have to get caught, shot. That's all. They don't take you to court and case hoga. No, you're dead. Did Bhakti Tirth Maharaj do that? He went. He risked his life. So many examples we can think of. Why was he doing it also? His commitment to his Guru, Prabhupada. Ready to die. Ready to die, as I said, means how much are we ready to extend ourselves in practicing, in performing our bhakti. Comfort zone में होता है ना, तो bhakti can, that awakening slows down. The more we extend ourselves, the more sacrifices we make. Because then what happens? We attract the mercy of the Lord. Bhakti का दो limbs है, याद रखो. Our effort and Krishna Kripa. Our efforts, it attracts the mercy of Krishna. When Krishna sees this person making such sacrifices, we have no idea what sacrifices Krishna will make for that devotee. Right? So, I'm already over time. So, A, association condenses into what? Awakeness. We awaken. And to the degree we awaken, B, books क्या होता है? We start broadcasting. Now the broadcasting का, what is the theme of, what is the driver for the broadcast? To awaken others. And C is, we stay committed to such a degree that we are ready to die for that purpose, whatever it may take. And that is what Prabhupada is explaining or trying to give us in this purport that we read today. 3 times, that is why he said. Why would he say 3 times otherwise? That Kashyap Muni is trying to make Diti a Vaishnava. When he says he's trying to make her a Vaishnava, means this. A, B, C and D. Thank you all very much. Again, I'm very consistent in one thing. I always go over time. So I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I've already gone 5 minutes over time. Thank you all very much. If anybody has any questions, comments, I'll be around, and there are so many other seniors also. But I'll be around. We can, address it offline. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.